This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen. It is Tuesday, the 30th of March, 2021. Here for actually early today. Normally we start at 3 o'clock Eastern, starting at 2 o'clock today to cover a extended session for trading S&P futures. We started last week and covered S&P and didn't have a whole lot of time left to trade. So I figured I would go today and spend more time on the mechanics of trading S&P futures. And then I am recording this as well, so we can get this posted. I'll get it posted up on the YouTube page probably this evening. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to submit them through the GoToMeeting chat, or you can also mic up and ask me. For a quick recap, just to let you know, with Medved Trader, you do have the ability to trade pretty much anything as long as you have a broker that's connected to them, or you don't even have to have that. You can, as long as you have data, and you can get data for pretty much everything: stocks, mutual funds, or you can get bonds, treasuries. You can get futures, which I get through TD Ameritrade. You can get Forex through Interactive Brokers, as well as Bitcoin through Coinbase. That data is actually available for everybody. But today our primary focus is going to be on S&P futures. And one of the things I wanted to stress is that for anybody new to trading S&P, I would encourage you to first start with demo trading. You would need a Interactive Brokers demo account to do that. And then you might even want to start with micro ES, which is the MES. Especially when you first go live, you might even want to test trade initially with MES and then move into the standard S&P contract. So a standard S&P contract, when you're trading it, for every one contract, 1 point or 4 ticks of movement is equal to $50. It's $12.50 a tick, 4 ticks per point. A micro contract is equivalent to $5 a point, or $1.25 per tick. And again, it's a good way to practice and get comfortable. You can do 10 micros. That's equal to 1 standard contract if you want. Actually, I was playing around a little earlier, and I started out with 20, added 20, and then 10, and ended up with 50. And I set a bracket order, and it actually triggered my target on the trade. I'll tell you, today is a tough day because S&P has been in a pretty tight range, and it's been chopping back and forth. So I'm just giving you a fair warning. It is a tougher day to trade. So if you want to demo trade or practice, you'll need to download the Interactive Brokers, the IBKR Pro, and then sign. And you can go to their website. If you go to their websites, interactivebrokers.com, there's a spot to where you can sign up for a free trial and then download which we talked about last week, and it's in that recording. There are some settings that you'll have to go through. If you need some help with that, let me know. I can assist you. And then what you have to do is you first log into the MB desktop, the IBKR Pro desktop. You open it up and then you minimize it, okay? And then you make sure you've added that demo account to your account list. You'll have to add that account. So you can see I've got Interactive Brokers right here. So you'll have to log in, put in your username and password, or verify and get the account, and it'll find it. And then make sure you're set for that account. And then if you want to do the standard, it's at ESM21. That's the current contract, which is the June. So we'll be on that contract up until the beginning of June, and then we'll roll it out into a new contract after that. So when using clear lines, I look at several different things. I look at the 8-minute to see what the trend is. And you can see, as I was stating, we've been really choppy. Look at the 8-minute. Most of the day, it's been channeling. We are literally stuck in the mud, right? It's just back and forth and back and forth. It makes it really hard to trade when it does this. We've got a half minute, a 1 minute, and a 2 minute. And you can just quick glance, you can see we're chopping. We are literally just chopping around. So that does, that will present some challenges. Typically, what I'll look for is, here was a good spot, which was off of VWAP. Short off of VWAP. When it hits it and starts to roll over, you can go long on the breakout. We'll probably go up and retest VWAP. The 8-minute, though, if you'll notice, the CCI is pretty much flatlined. Again, it's telling us there's no trend, no momentum one way or the other. I also will look at a 3-minute. It's a pro level, not a pro straight off the 3. Hold on 1 second. All right, we're trying to come back down. Again, this is a really challenging day. I got a half minute that's rolling over. I got a 1 minute that's starting to roll back down. All right, what I could do is try a little short here. It's kind of rolling back down. We'll do bounce as soon as I get in. I'm doing 5 micros right now. And I did that because this way, if I want to add another 5, I can add 5 on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a bracket order for the exit. I'm going to put a stop basically just above the VWAP. Oops. And then Let's see. We could get back down towards this level. If we roll over, we could retest those lows. So I like doing the brackets because that way you're you want to be very disciplined on S&P, because if you're wrong and it flips back the other way, you definitely want to be out. So you can see we're starting to push back down a little bit. I've got CCI that just rolled back into the red on the half minute. I need to see a little red here on the 1. The 2 is also just dead. There's no CCI is on the 0 line, and same on the 8. I mean, this is just telling us there's like no trend today. All right, so we're starting to roll down. You can see here that the half minute CCI is starting to push back down the hill. The 1 minute starting to come down the hill a little bit. You can see right through here that 1 just pushed into the red. And this is just super choppy. This is basically about a 1-to-1 risk to reward. I'm risking about 100 to make about 100. All right, well, we're bouncing back up. I think this is going to end up taking us out. Frank, it's a tough time right now, Frank, to swing. Yeah, today's a special session for S&P right now. We're not going to be covering any stocks currently, maybe in the second hour, but right now we're just focused on S&P. But this is showing. Look at the market today. Dow's down 80, S&P's down 15, 14. The Nasdaq's down 47. Russell's up. We've been chopping around today, pretty much all day long. Yeah, Frank, this is a special segment I wanted to do on S&P, and we started a little early today, just to have some time to do some practice trading on S&P futures. So I started an hour before I normally do. Jana D says, is there more volume at certain times of the day like stocks? So typically in the morning is the heaviest time, and you can see on the 8-minute where the heavy volume occurs in the first hour and a half, and then it starts to curtail through the afternoon. We'll probably pick up a little bit going into the close, but yeah, it does lighten up once you get in towards about 11:30, 12 o'clock Eastern. The volume does kind of fizzle a little bit, and S&P does get a little more challenging to trade in the mid afternoon. This is definitely not my favorite time. Um, it tends to be choppier. The best moves are early and at the end of the day. But I wanted to go ahead and do this segment just to give us some more time, hoping that maybe we'll find something. It just happens to be that today is one of those days where it's extra specially dead. One second. Extra extra choppy. Sorry, my I don't know what just happened. I just lost my voice. So I don't know why this hasn't taken us out. This should have taken us out. Yes, the bracket order. Janet wants to know, what is a bracket order? It is once you're in, it is a stop and a limit. There's another term called OCO, one cancels other, but yeah, it's a two-sided order. Basically, you're wrapping on both sides of the trade. You have a stop to limit loss and a limit to take profit. And so what's supposed to happen, and it worked earlier because I hit my limit, but what's supposed to happen is when you hit the stop, it's supposed to exit the position and close the limit, and vice versa. If you hit the limit, it's supposed to exit the trade and then cancel the stop. I don't know why. Here, I don't know why it's doing that. Let's just, we'll throw a little more fuel on that one. So yeah, you select bracket, and then if you're short, you click buy. You put your mouse wherever you're trying to take profit, and then you hold your mouse button down, scroll up to wherever you're willing to take loss. And then, so it says lose 180 and gain 332. I don't know. I don't know why they're not triggering though. I don't know why the stop is not. The limit triggered earlier, but the stop didn't trigger. Yeah, I just don't like days like this. All right, it's starting to roll again. Right back over. Now it's dumping quick. Look how fast that just rolled over. Yeah, this is a really tough day. See, that would have sucked, actually come up, hit the stop, and then roll right back over. S&P isn't good at doing that. Could, if this rolls over, we could retest the lows of the day. I don't know if we'll get there. And then if we can get some wiggle room, we can move the stop towards break even. But you need a good 4 or 5 points of wiggle room. Gord wants to know, what are the pros and cons on trading S&P futures versus trading SPY or the SPX? A couple. The biggest, I'd say, pro is that there's no day trading rule associated with trading S&P futures, so you can trade back and forth multiple times. For anybody that is trading out of a smaller, less than $25,000 account, there's no restrictions there. The liquidity is great for S&P futures, so there's never an issue with that. The commissions are pretty reasonable. Now, obviously, if you're trading SPY stock and you've got zero commissions, that's the best. But to trade SPY, you need a lot of money. Your position, you've got more capital tied up. SPY options, obviously, options ultimately have a shorter expiration period and sometimes have bigger spreads and you have to, depending on which option you trade, you have to capture a bigger move to get anything. So I think there's a lot of good advantages to S&P futures. Or SPX options. It really just comes down to, I think, it's just what you're most comfortable with. Like I said, you can try SPY using the micros, and I think the biggest advantages is that ability to trade. I mean, it would be the same like trading one option contract, I guess, or if you traded 10 shares of the SPY, but you're only using about 40 or 50 bucks of margin on a micro contract, depending on the broker. 40, 50 to 250, basically, depending on the broker. But it's pretty reasonable. What other? I mean, you can't do things like you can't do spreads and things like that, like you could do with the SPX or SPY, but if you're just trying to capture a few points up or down. So there's a couple ways you can trade SPY. He says, so is it more of a way to scalp versus swinger longer term? Yeah, you don't want to. Well, what happens is if you're trading S&P more than an intraday, you do have higher margin requirements overnight, so to speak. So, intraday, you're basically 25% margin. Uh, um, or what's considered 25% of initial. So, um, so you just have to have more capital available. But at night there can be some pretty wild swings. I think it's much better suited for intraday. I think S&P is definitely suited. You could do some longer term trades. I would probably do those on the micros to give them some breathing room. But you could do that. If you do the micros, it's almost like doing an option, like doing a couple calls or puts. And you don't have to worry about it expiring, in a couple days. Option contracts run for 3 months at a time. And then you can just roll out of one and into another, to the next contract if you need to. But I was going to say is there's a couple different intraday trade styles. Again, it depends on what's going today. Today just happens to be one of those really tough days because we're in so much chop. But there are typically two types of intraday moves with SPY. Sometimes you can catch the morning. I call it the turtle trade, where it just kind of moves up for a little while. Here, let's go to a 3 minute. Today was just not a great example of that because it was just so we didn't get we had a couple little moves, but there was no big move today. Um, let me try this. Let me go. Actually, I'm going to use just the @ES because that way we can look back a little further. The with my data from TD, you only see one current day and that's it, unless you go to @ES, which is a continuous contract. So, like yesterday afternoon, that bounce up. That would have been a good long into the close. That was a big move up. Or that was the day before yesterday. That was Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon. And then yesterday midday, we did have a pretty good move up. So, if you were long off the midday bottom, you could have tried to held through the day. That was 30 points, 30 points on one contract is $1,500. Is that right? I think 1,500. It's uh, yeah, because it's 500 for every 10 points. 500 for every 10 points. So if you can latch onto one of these moves, if you don't get shook out, like look at like yesterday compared to today, right? We're stuck. It does this every once in a while. Yesterday had a nice move. Friday had a nice move. And then you have after hours. That was a good day right there. There was a good afternoon sell-off. That was 40 points. That was a $2,000 move on one contract. So there are movements like that. Here was a great day right here, the 22nd. That was the turtle. That was an all-day move up from 39.12 to 39.42, 30-point move. So you can catch some of these. It's just they don't happen every day. Here was a good, that was overnight. That was a good overnight. The other thing is you can trade at night. You can watch, if you're up late at night when the Asian session starts, there are some good moves that happen late. Here was 3 o'clock in the morning. There was a pretty good move up, right? 20-point move right through there. So I use the same time frames that I use on my active, but you can use a kind of whatever time frames you're comfortable with. I like, again, the 8-minute, which gives a good, the 8 clear lines gives you a clear view of the kind of the trend. See, now we're back in an upcycle. And then the half, 1 and the 2. I also like to look at a 3-minute. A lot of traders use the 3-minute. Like this morning, the short after the open was the trade, right? Broke down. That was a nice move down, 47 to almost 10-point move. That was your first trade of the day. That was a good trade. And actually, you could have caught it in the pre-market. Guys, give me 1 second. I need to grab this. Sorry about that, guys. So I need to put my ringer off. That was my mom. Yeah, today's just one of the choppiest, really choppy days. But anyway, so Jana D, this morning was the best trade. right? Actually, there was the short from the open was good, and then we caught a bottom, and there was a long. So, but that was all done by 11. By 11, so 9:30, first hour and a half, there were two really good moves, a down and an up, and that's usually what happens. Most days you get a good move, uh, good two moves in the first hour, hour and a half, and then it goes into chop, which is what we've been doing all day. We actually had a mid pullback right through here. That was a good 10 point move down. And then we're kind of in a just real choppiness. Yeah, we're literally just stuck in the mud. Any questions so far? Oh, I've had a few questions, but any other questions so far? Well, the other thing too is look what we've been doing all afternoon. We've been literally wrapping through VWAP, right? Bounce up, kept hitting up VWAP, dropped above, below, hit, above, below. We're literally back and forth over over VWAP right now. So the 21 is for 2021. So the all futures, they have either two or three letters at the beginning. So like it's either ES or MES for micro ES, or for the NASDAQ, it's NQ or MNQ. And then for the Dow, it's YM or MYM for the micro. And then the next letter is the M. So ESM is the month, and there's a code system. M is June. I have a coding on I have it written down. January is F, February is G, March is H, April is J, May is K, June is M, July is N, August is Q, September is U, October V, November X, and December Z. And then the year 21. So that way you know. If you want to learn more about trading futures, you can, and want to learn more about futures, you can go to the CME group. They have an education site. But yeah, it'll tell you, like if you click on something, it'll tell you, what's the current contract. Here's the ESM. So it's the June. It'll tell you the value, $50 per point, or 25 per 1250 per tick. Tells you the trading hours, the contracts it trades are March, June, September, and December. So I was also testing out these guys. Hold on. It's rhythmic through not gain, amp using Rhythmic. They have a demo I wanted to try out, and unfortunately, this is the weirdest thing, but in their demo account, you can't go short, you can only go long. I thought that was really weird, right? So if I try to short, it will say short selling disallowed. I'm like, how can you not do shorting in futures? That's so you can practice longs. I'm like, that's just bizarre. You just do a buy or a sell, Alvaro. If you're going to go long, you buy it. If you're going to short it, you sell it. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. Either buy it or sell. Yeah, so I'm a little perturbed that, it doesn't actually function the way it should. That it's kind of backwards. To me, it doesn't make any sense. I haven't decided if I'm going to open an account with these. I've set up everything. I just haven't funded it yet. I was gonna open an account with them because it would allow me to trade um, futures, directly through um, through the chart. Well, I could do it with IB, but I like the leverage that they have. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna go with these guys or not yet. All right, so we're starting to roll back over. Jana D says, with my work schedule, I like that I can watch S&P for a few hours a day and make extra income. Don't have to concentrate on multiple stocks as I paper trade, then go active with success. I'll just add contracts for more money. I can't watch the market all day long. Yeah, and the other thing, Jana D, is if you're up in the evening, there's sometimes some good moves in the early evening when the Asian session opens. So that would be I think it's around 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern. Hold on. Let's, let me do this. Let me, just use this one. So I can do a 3 minute. Okay. So this was early this morning. There was a good move that started about 6:30. So you can start early in the morning. So this move down from 60 to 45, that was early. And then here was yesterday, starting around 6 o'clock, there was a sell-off. That was about 10 points. And then it kind of went into some chop in the middle of the night. So early evening or early morning. Yeah, you can trade all night long. So they're not options. They're an actual contract that um, it's a futures index contract. So it's not an option, but it does have an expiration. They expire every 3 months, but it doesn't function like an option. Like there's not, you don't have time value and all that. It's just um, um, there's a set value, and I forget the actual number, like what a full futures contract. I want to say it's like 50 or $60,000 is what the full contract. It has to do with the value of, and that has probably changed. That was a long time ago. The value of the underlying S&P. It's an equation related to the S&P and related to the Nasdaq and related to the Dow, a correlation to the components of that. So this is a correlation to the S&P 500. And hold on, let me see if I can find. Oh, why trade S&P futures? Deep liquidity, tight bid-ask spreads, flexible execution gives you multiple ways to find liquidity. Save on margin offsets with other equity index futures. Central clearing helps mitigate your counterparty risk. Nearly 24 hours access. Leverage. Global equity index portfolio. 60/40 blended tax treatment. So there are some tax advantages too. Um, Let me see if I can find that. E-mini futures were created to allow for smaller investments by a wider range of investors. The S&P E-mini futures are 1/5 of the value of the big contract. If the S&P level is 2,500, then the market value of futures contract is 2,500 times $50 or 125,000. There's the equation right there. So it's 1/5 of the big. Nobody trades the big contract. Everybody trades the E-mini. Um, so what happens is expiration is you need to close out that current contract and then move into the next one is what you have to do. You have to liquidate it. You just close the position. So wherever it's at, you have to, if you're long, you sell it. If you're short, you buy it and close it out, and then you can move into the next contract. So let's go back and look at another night session just so you can see. Here was the day before yesterday, or yeah, not last night, but the night before. So there was a good move overnight. See, so that started early in the evening. Oh, I think we looked at that one. Here was a good one. This was, oh, by the way, Sunday, you can start trading at 5 o'clock. Or is it 6? Maybe it's 6. I thought it was 5. But Sunday evening, you can start trading, and look what happened Sunday night. Sold off from the open. How do you know when to move out of a contract and into the next one? Well, so you learn. Basically, I would keep an eye. The best thing is to keep an eye on, go to CME Group, because that's where they trade through, the CME. And if you just go markets and then hit E-mini S&P, you'll always see what current contract it's trading. So come June, early June is when this will roll into the next contract. It'll roll into September, but it's something you have to kind of keep an eye on it and realize that when you get close, when you get into the beginning of June, you'll know you're a week or so from rolling over. And just, it's usually on a Friday you roll. Like we just rolled out a March not that long ago, and I think the March is now officially dead. I don't know if it's still trading. It might still be trading. Yeah, actually no, hold on. Not, wait a minute. Not M, H, sorry. At ESH. H was yeah, see, this is not trading anymore. It's done. The H was the March contract. So it's no longer trading. But the September, there is some volume in it, but it's probably really light. Yeah, like this is only traded 500 contracts today. So there are some people that will go out further contracts. I don't recommend it. I recommend staying in what's considered the front month contract. But you can see, so there was an afternoon, the end of the day. So usually the beginning of the day there's good action, and the end of the day. And then here was an evening where it was just dead, no action. There was some action in the evening. There was a sell-off from 10 o'clock to 11. So sometimes at night, here was an all-day run. This was March 22nd. That was a big move up from the open all day, straight up. There was a sell-off in the before the market opened, and it sold off, and then it bounced. There was a mid-overnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. There was a good bounce. So sometimes, overnight you get, say, here was a good end of the day sell-off. So sometimes you get these nice end of the day moves. Here was a big overnight sell-off. Here was a good end of the day rally. Here was a good early morning sell-off. If you're also trying to stay with it a little longer, you may want to try to leg in. Start with, 1 or 2 micros, and then add if you're building into a position that you're trying to. All right, obviously I don't know why this is not closing. Something's not, this demo stuff sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. But you could, you could start a partial, and then if it starts working in your favor, let's see if we get a end of the day run here. If it starts going in your direction, then you can just add in, kind of build a afternoon position. Um, no, Gord says, is there a market maker on the other side? I don't think there are futures market makers. I think it's just I think the CME is who provides the liquidity. I don't I don't know of a market maker for futures. A good question. I don't think so. That was a good turn. See, we broke out. Um, well, the following market making firms provide liquidity. Maker directories. FX, equity. S&P futures. Never really. Okay. These are what I don't know what ESG. Barclays, Goldman. All right, I guess there are. Didn't know that. Oh, hello. That was a good spot. Here's the breakout. All right, so let's say we're like, oh my God, it's on a breakout. So now we can buy a little more. Why did that not fill? What is going? This stupid thing is not working. I don't know why this thing is not functioning. That was a good breakout though. Yeah, see, here we are. We're getting into the last hour. Here, let's try this. It's a pretty good move. That's almost 5-point move up. I knew when it broke this 39.50 we were going to run. Why is the limit not working?
Order cancel.
Something's up. It's just not filling.
Order cancel.
It should be instant. I don't know why they're not.
Order cancel.
Well, yeah, there's not really, yeah, I mean, it's instant. There's, as soon as you're done, you're done. Move on to the next trade. You don't have to worry about settlement or anything. It's not, again, it's not like a stock or an option. You don't have to wait for settlement. About to break out here. Like every day, right? 3 o'clock. Here comes the, yeah, look at that. Here we go. Just keep moving the stop up, protecting. All right, it's not working.
Order cancel. Order filled.
Now it fills it. All right, that was a pretty good long trade right there. So you kind of, see what happened? We were kind of wrapped around the VWAP and then we finally broke out. Now I can move it down to 2 contracts and short off the little spike up here.
Order filled. Order filled.
See, now it's working to let me add on. I don't know what is going on with this stupid thing. It's not letting me. Let's see if I can set a limit. See if it comes down. Yeah, like so far today, the mini has traded almost 1 million contracts, the micro, and then the standard mini has traded 1.2 million. So there's plenty of liquidity. That's never an issue with the. What do you mean by can you buy and sell contracts at the same time? You can't be long and short at the same time. You can either be long or short. You you could be long in one account and short in another account, I guess. But technically speaking, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Like if you're looking for a breakout one way or the other, you'd have to do it in 2 accounts. There's insurance. Yeah, Jana D. I don't know what is going on. There's some weird issues. What are you able to at least see? I'll have to. I'll touch base with you. We'll take a look at it. See what's going on. Okay. Yeah. Well, Jana, it may be one of the settings because you got to make sure you're using the quotes from. Did you get your yeah, you're getting your data from TD, so it won't look right. It's not going to look right on here. It's going to look off on here because this is going to show a different price. Okay. You can't go off the price on, use the price on here. It should fill correctly though. I mean, like I know I'm in at the right price. So Bruce, I use on the half minute and 1 minute, it's a daily demark. On the 2 minute, well, this is supposed to be a 2 minute. On the 2 minute, I use the weekly. So I have both of them, Bruce. My charts have all the half. If you're using this layout, the half and the 1, these are dailies, and the 2 minute is all weeklies. Pivot point, fib pivot, and demark. Yeah. So one can go to sleep without being worried. Yeah, I got you. Look at this. Let's see if the limit picks it up. See, this is the issue. Is like the limit didn't. Well, it hasn't gone through it yet, so it's got to go through. But it should have picked. It should pick this order up. It was a touch. Didn't go through yet. Now it should have filled.
Order partially filled.
Partially filled.
Order filled.
Order filled. There we go. All right. So it took the limit. It had to go through it. So we had one initial loser, and then now we've had 2 winners back to back. So we got the breakout, and then we got the reversal off of the top. And then what am I net up on micro? 862 is my total for the day. I had a trade earlier, but 862 is my total. so far. There were a handful of different. There was 5 and 5, and this was 5, and this I was messing around. This was 20, 20, and then 10. I added and added and added, and so it was 50, which is basically 5 standard contracts. Yeah. Most of these have been 5 micros, which is basically 1/2 of a standard. So each standard contract, 1 point is $50, okay, on a standard. On a micro, 1 point on one contract is $5. So on 5 micros, 1 point move is $25. Minus commissions. You have commissions in futures. Commissions on a standard contract, most brokers is right around $2 and change commission and exchange fees. Micro is usually about 75 cents per contract. I pay with TradeStation, I pay $273 for a standard per each way. That's commission and exchange fees. I think it's $250 plus commission and then 23-cent exchange fees. And then the micro is like 75 cents. I forget. Part of that's commission and part of that's exchange fees. TDs is expensive to trade micros. I wouldn't do it through TD. It's like $1 something, $1.75, 2 1/4, something like that. Yeah, so you wouldn't be if you wanted to try to paper trade with Rhythmic, you really can't because of the fact that it's for whatever reason it doesn't let you short. It only lets you go long. It's just stupid. I don't know who would do that. Each way, Jaina D, you have a commission going in and a commission going out. Yes. Yeah. So but again, it's pretty nominal, couple bucks. So IB, looks like 85 cents. Then you also have exchange fees. I think that's right. Futures. Cost plus tiered commission per contract, 85. Plus exchange fee, 8 cents. That's pretty reasonable. And then interactive. Yes. So what are they charging? E-mini S&P. Initial. Oh, their rates are high. Is that right? 9 grand. That seems kind of high. Margin requirement. Good question. If you want to trade directly through Medved, your choices are going to be through AMP. It's a pain in the butt. AMP, Rhythmic. I'm telling you guys, this is not simple. Interactive brokers, or what was the other one? There was one other one. gain capital. There's also Optimus futures, gain capital, AMP global, and IB. AMP, I wish. It's just going to be it's just kind of a pain to get set up with them. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm happy to help anybody that wants to get set up, but it's a pain. Let me see if I got this email. I don't know why they don't show how to, or like make you like log in or something. Margins. There you go. Here you go. S&P day trade you need 400, but if you're going to hold overnight, you need 11,000. See, it's 400 intraday. Micros 40, 1100 for overnight holds. And then gain capital futures. I haven't checked them. None of these guys make it real easy to figure out what their commissions are. Commissions. It's like, can you just show me futures here? ES $1.23 plus $2. That's pretty cheap. So $1.25 each way. Oh, that's exchange. Those are exchange fees. That's not commission. That's just exchange fee. Then there's commissions on top of that. Okay. Yeah, that's just the exchange fee. $1, and then it's plus exchange. It's a couple bucks. I'm just telling you. It's confusing. It's so confusing. These futures brokers, I don't get it. All right, guys. I think that's enough for S&P for the day. I'm going to pause the recording, and then we'll spend the last 30 minutes on whatever else anybody else wants to cover. Hold on just a minute. But thank you. Again, if you have any questions about trading S&P futures, don't hesitate to email me or text me.